Good evening. I will now call this meeting to order. Hello and good evening, everybody. I will immediately turn it over to Councilwoman Ortiz, who will present the invocation. Please stand if you are able.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This evening, I have my brother in Christ, Reverend John Williams, whoever, he answers to everything. He's married. He's married to the beautiful Corliss Williams. They make it work, and they're perfect for each other. I'll just say that. So John is an associate pastor, elder of the New Beginning Baptist Church, husband to Corliss, father to 6, and grandfather to 12. He has the honor of currently serving on the board of the Boys and Girls Club, Topeka Rescue Mission, and Top City Community Foundation, and member of the Heartland, Sertoma, and Kappa, blah, 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 blah. Because I'll end up saying it wrong. And he's also on the board of the Living the Dream. I've known John for a long time. He's mentored a lot of youth, including my son, who is his little brother. I appreciate you, and I did tell one of my colleagues, they said, I stole you, and I said, you can't steal something that's yours, and you are mine. So with that, have at it, brother.
Councilman Banks would beg to differ on that one, but first of all, thank you for the invitation. This is a high honor, and I'm grateful for the opportunity. With that said, let us go and pray. Heavenly Father, as I come before your presence in the name of Jesus, first of all, I just want to thank you for the gift and blessing of another day, a day that was not due me, nor one that I deserve, but because of your great love and grace and mercy, I was able to see it. My prayer this evening is, Father, as the City Council and Mayor and other government officials have gathered together to conduct the business of the City of Topeka, I pray that you would guide their thoughts, govern their words, and grant them wisdom while they're making important decisions that's going to impact all of the citizens of this community. I thank you and ask a special blessing for each one of them individually, and bless the council and those that are heads of departments of the City of Topeka, a special blessing, and a special blessing on their respective families for their silent partners in this endeavor. I ask this again in Christ's name, amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
With that, I'll ask the clerk to take roll.
Mayor Duncan.
Here.
Council members Hiller.
Here.
Valdivia Acala. Ortiz. Here. Banks.
Here.
Kell.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
Bradbury.
Here.
And Hofer.
Here.
All right. Open mic night.
All right, we have 8 present.
All right, this evening we do have a proclamation. This relates to Young Professionals Day. Whereas young Topekans are vital to shaping the economic strength, civic vitality, and cultural vibrancy of our city, and whereas a young professional is defined as an individual between the ages of 18 and 40, representing almost 35% of Topeka's population, more than 27% of Kansas's population, and nearly 1/3 of the U.S. population. And whereas these young professionals fuel innovation, entrepreneurship, and public service, driving Kansas forward in emerging industries such as advanced manufacturing, clean energy, and technology. And whereas in Topeka, Forge Young Talent engages in networking and mentorship, community development, and civic leadership, ensuring that the next generation is both empowered and equipped to meet the city's future challenges. And whereas the recruitment, retention, and recognition of young professionals are essential to Topeka's long-term prosperity, population growth, and competitiveness in the national economy, Now, therefore, I, Spencer L. Duncan, Mayor of Topeka, Kansas, do hereby proclaim February 2nd, 2026 as Young Professionals Day. And to help me celebrate this, I'll ask Zach Surratt and anyone else who he has brought along and he'd like to drag up here. Well, they mostly look enthused, that's good. Then I would have them come up here and celebrate Young Professionals Day. Who would like to speak? And if you say none of you, too bad. One of you needs to say something nice.
He is the top.
Just wanted to thank everyone, thank the governing body for this recognition, and thank you all for your support of young professionals. We are on Forge's 27th year, something like that. Yeah,
27.
There you go. Young professionals are so important as a part of our community. It really is the future. We are a little bit biased on that, but we appreciate not just our young professionals in Topeka, but the ability to work across generations to make positive change, to make sure that Topeka is a place where everyone wants to live, work, play, grow, and lead. I just want to real quick introduce who we've got up here. Jacinta is our previous chair now of our advocacy committee, and Molly is our current chair, and didn't want to take any time on the mic, but as of now, I'm no longer on the Forge board, so I'm just a young person. That's it. That's all I got. But we really appreciate this opportunity. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for your proclamation.
Absolutely. Let's get the mic out of the way. Get up here, hold that. You gotta come in, you gotta come in. That's right. Thank you. Okay. Sorry, one more, sorry. Perfect, thank you. That'd be great. All right, we will move on to item 3. If the clerk would read the consent agenda.
A is an ordinance introduced by City Manager Dr. Robert M. Perez, allowing and approving city expenditures for the period November 29, 2025 to December 26, 2025, and enumerating said expenditures herein. B is an approval of a professional services contract exceeding $50,000 between the City of Topeka and Henson, Hutton, Mudrick, Gregson, and Vogelsberg LLP for continued representation of the city in a civil lawsuit matter. C are the minutes of the January 13, 2026 governing body meeting, and we have no applications.
All right. Excuse me. I have a motion from Councilmember Kell and a second by Councilmember Ortiz. With that, I will ask the clerk to take the vote.
And Councilmember Miller?
Yes.
Okay, we have 8 yes, the motion carries.
All right, we will move on to item 4A, action items. If the clerk would read.
Okay, A is the election of city council representatives to the Metropolitan Topeka Planning Organization Policy Board.
All right, so I'm going to ask this question for both of the elections we're about to do, as we had to last time, since we have some people virtual and we still need to adjust our council policies in relating to that. If there's no objection, we will allow council members Bradbury and Miller to cast a virtual vote this evening. If there is an objection, let me know now. Otherwise, we're going to proceed that way. All right, perfect. All right, so we will start with the election for the Metropolitan Topeka Planning Organization. I believe one member is not eligible for this vote also because the mayor has a designee. That designee will be Councilmember Ortiz, so you don't get to vote for her one way or the other. So we still need 2 other members to fill the other 2 spots. So who wants to explain how we want to proceed with this? Me or Nick?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, I'll give you a little bit sort of heads up of where we might be going with this as well while we're on the subject. Currently, the MTPO, the election is every 2 years, the third governing body meeting in January of the even-numbered years, so tonight. Also with JEDO, there's an election every year, also by resolution on the third governing body meeting in January. Pursuant to Councilmember Ortiz's request last week, we are currently working on some amendments to move these elections to the first January of the year to coincide with the deputy mayor election. Again, we are able to do tonight by roll call since we didn't have any elections, so we'll proceed as follows. Mayor Duncan will open the floor for nominations. Council members can self-nominate or be nominated. The city clerk will compile the names on a tally sheet. The mayor will close the nominations. The city clerk will ask each member of the governing body which 2 nominees they would like to vote for. The city clerk will tally the votes. The 2 council members receiving the highest number of votes will be elected, providing they have the minimum of 6 votes. Should a tie exist or a position not be filled due to an insufficient number of votes, the voting will continue until the voting requirement is met.
All right. And just to be clear, I won't ask this about the next election. This may have an issue. We cannot elect a non-person who hasn't taken a seat yet, right? We can't elect whoever becomes the District 8 rep to that seat?
Correct.
Okay. That was a question I got. I wanted to make sure I asked it. So it's been asked. All right. Well, with that, and I believe, Braxton, do you sit in on these meetings? Are they still mostly virtual? Okay. Okay. So just for everybody's reference who hasn't participated in this for a while, I think they've been virtual since COVID and they've stayed that way. So they are virtual meetings. So, all right. Well, with that, I will open up the floor for nominations. And remember, you can nominate yourself before we force a nomination upon you. Oh, you weren't turning.
I nominate Councilwoman Hillard.
She has to accept said nomination.
I don't know what to say. There's a limit to how many I can do. Councilwoman Ortiz
Microphone.
had approached.
Microphone.
There's a limit to how many we can do. Councilwoman Ortiz had approached me about being a voting member of JEDO this time, so I don't know what to say. I'll accept, but if there's somebody who, I've done it before twice, if somebody else would rather do it, that's good.
I would like to nominate myself, please.
Okay.
All right. Councilman Miller has nominated himself. Anyone else? Well, remember, Councilwoman Hiller, we can always change your. If you get on there, we can always swap you out later. Again, we will have a new rep at District 8 who we
Well, there
may
you go.
throw into that fire. How's that when they get here, right?
Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Ortiz.
I'd like to nominate Michelle Bradbury. It's virtual, we don't go very long, maybe an hour, hour and a
Once a
half.
month, about 1 hour online.
It's a good learning experience, too.
Councilmember
I'll
Bradbury.
accept that nomination.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember Bradbury. All right, well, based on the enthusiasm and, Councilmember Hiller.
Given that there are now 2 nominees, I'll withdraw.
Okay, well then, I am going to decide to close the nominations at this point, based on the enthusiasm of the room for the MTPO. City Attorney, do we need to take an actual vote, or can I make a motion to approve by acclamation, since there are only 2 nominees?
Need 6 votes.
We do need 6 affirmative votes, I believe. so-
Okay, so then we need to, are we doing this all by voice vote?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Well, then I would ask the clerk to open up the voting.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to go around and I'll start with Mayor Duncan, of course, and then Mayor Duncan, if you want to either agree to the nominations of Miller and Bradbury, or if you wanted to say both of their names to let me know, and then I will just tally them as we go, and I'll go to the council members next.
I agree to the
Okay?
2 who are nominated.
Okay. Councilmember Hiller?
Same.
All right. Councilmember Ortiz?
I agree to the 2 that were nominated.
Okay. Banks,
I agree to the nominees.
Kell,
I agree to the nominees.
Miller,
I agree with the nominees.
Bradbury.
I agree with the nominees.
All right, and Hofer.
I agree to the nominees.
Okay. So we have 8 yes for both Councilmember Millers and Bradbury to serve on the MTPO board.
All right, thank you very much, Councilmembers Bradbury, Councilmember Miller, and Councilmember Ortiz for serving on MTPO. As Councilmember Ortiz said, those meetings don't take too long, but they are important. It's a lot of money to get spent on a lot of important projects, and so it is an important board to serve on. So thank you very much for that service. All right, with that, we will move on to action item 4B. I'll ask the clerk to read.
B is the election of 2 city council voting representatives to serve a 1-year term on the Joint Economic Development Organization Board.
All right, City Attorney, anything you want to?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This will be the same procedure as the last action item.
Okay, as a reminder, we have 4 individuals who serve, although everybody is welcome to come to those meetings and everybody has a seat at the table to speak, has standing to speak, just not take a vote. I always want to remind the council of that. Mayor serves, deputy mayor will be serving this year as is an automatic position. And with that, we need to then elect 2 additional individuals. I'm going to open up the nominations by nominating Councilmember David Banks, if he will accept.
Yes.
And then I will call on Councilmember Ortiz.
You took my nominee.
So, any other nominations, please?
Nominate Councilman Kell.
Does Councilman Kell want to serve on JEDO? He said yes. Anyone else like to nominate themselves or someone else? You don't speak up.
I'll nominate you.
All right, a nomination for Councilmember Hiller. Anyone else? All right, doesn't appear so. Checking. All right, then I'm going to close the nominations. Would it be easier for us on this one would you like a voice vote? Would it be easier for us to vote by paper ballot and then you can take a voice? In fact, why do we do that? Would that be, we're going to do that. Everyone here vote. Remember, you can only vote for 2.
Is it 3 or 4?
You vote for 2.
No, I'm saying nominees. Where's it?
We have 3 nominees. Councilmember Hiller, Councilmember Banks, and Councilmember Kell are 3 nominees. So, mark who you're... Yeah, please sign it on your name.
All right, and Councilmembers Miller, what would your vote be? We have Hiller, Kell, and Banks.
Councilwoman Hiller and Councilmember Banks.
Okay, thank you. And Councilmember Bradbury, what will your vote be?
Councilmember Hiller and Councilmember Banks.
Okay, thank you.
Is that the right one? No. Give the clerk a minute to tally it up.
Okay, the 2 voting members for the JEDO board will be Councilmember Banks with 7 votes and Councilmember Hiller with 6 votes.
Thank you very much. I think the first meeting is, yes, Councilmember Hiller.
If I could make a request or just kind of a comment overall, thank you for working on the ordinance for the timing of the JEDO and MTO votes, whoever's been involved in that. But also with the agenda, for instance, today, the attachment listed the elected council members for MTPO, but not the mayoral appointed ones. And if by moving that up, we can do this all at the same time and give complete listings of what the council, there are other committees that we get appointed to as well. And the mayor is named as the appointing person, but the council gets invited to, well, appoint themselves, but also appoint people from the outside. And if that master list of what at least was last year, if we all could have it so that when we sign up, we've got an idea of how everything fell, I think it'll help you or the mayor as well.
And we do
as
have
all
that
of us.
master list, so I think moving forward, we need to make sure we just provide, here was the previous year
Right.
list of everybody that has every single committee and assignment.
Right. And I know a couple of you are working with the council staff on what the routines are every year, and so this is might be a good time to put that in.
No, that's a good recommendation.
Thank you.
All right, unless there's any comments on the election, we will move on to public comment, believe it or not. So, with that, I've got 3 people signed up this evening to speak. First up is Miss Sandra Lassiter. Okay. Next up, I have Lorana Lassiter Saunders. I don't see her, but I'll call her name one more time. Lorana Lassiter.
She's on Zoom. I apologize.
Oh, she's on Zoom. Okay. Sorry, my apologies. Miss Lassiter Saunders, are you there?
I am. My apologies. I was
No,
trying
you're
to get
good.
off mute. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All righty. Good evening, Mayor and governing officials. Again, my name is Lorana Lassiter Saunders, and I wear many hats and have different roles. One is as an attorney, as a justice advocate, as a federal officer in senior management, as a federal mediator. And I share that just to let you know that when I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking with experience, years of experience. I didn't really realize how long I've been doing this until the other day. My child asked me a question, and she started it off with, Mom, back in your day? And I'm like, wow, I've been doing this for a minute. So with that, I just wanted to follow up on a request that I submitted as an advocate on behalf of Carrie Bell. It was Friday, October 31st, and we asked for the identity of the officer that was involved in killing her son. The second part of that request was asking that she be reimbursed for the money that she spent to review the footage, to bring in an expert to break it down, and to find out what really happened that day. And so we have not heard anything about the claim to reimburse her. We did get a response to the Cora request that was not signed, very unprofessional, by the way. It wasn't signed, and it denied our request to know the officer's name. And so the request is for each council member, the city manager, to, one, release the officer's name. We also are requesting that you each look at the video. And when you do this, from experience, I just wanted to advise you, make sure the person that is showing you knows what they're doing, and make sure that you don't just take the narrative when you watch these videos. Even as someone that's been doing this for years, when you watch police footage, the narrative you hear is what you're going to see at first. So take time, slow the video down, and watch carefully. Ask questions. And in Dylan's video, when I first watched it, I believe the narrative of, he shot first. But when you slow the video down, you will see that that windshield is not shattered until after the officer starts shooting. So just little things like that, I'm asking you, and I'm lending this advice to make sure when you're watching those videos, you slow it down, you ask questions, and you don't just go with the narrative that you've been told. And if we could get a response to that claim, that would be great. It's been several months now. Thank you.
Thank you. No mic sound, sorry. Thank you. All right, and next up, I have Miss Danielle Twimlow.
Good evening. I have a more general comment than I typically come up with here and speak about this evening. As a reminder that we are living in a moment where trust is fragile everywhere. Nationally, people are watching institutions fail to protect truth, dignity, and basic humanity. That harm does not stay on cable news or in Washington. It lands here, in our neighborhoods, and in this room. When people feel unheard at the national level, they turn to local leadership, hoping, needing to feel safe and seen. Local government is where democracy is supposed to feel real. It is where people believe their voice should still matter. And when that faith is shaken, the damage is personal. Integrity and transparency are not abstract ideals, but daily practices that shape whether communities heal or fracture, whether trust grows or erodes, whether democracy functions or simply performs. We repeatedly see decisions deferred from this body to the city manager and then deferred back again. Council points to administration points to council, and what is needed as checks and balances system looks to the public a lot like pointing fingers and conveniently leading to excuses of inaction. Maybe not because no one cares, but certainly because responsibility is diluted. And when responsibility is unclear, trust disappears. Checks and balances are meant to protect the public, not exhaust them. Leadership in this moment demands more than policy votes. It requires courage and clarity. It means asking, what is the totality of the situation? Who lives with the consequences of these decisions? And when decisions are made behind closed doors, when explanations are vague, when questions are treated as threats instead of signals, people don't just feel frustrated, they feel unsafe. And safety is not only about physical harm, it's about whether people believe they can speak without retaliation, disagree without being dismissed, and show up without being labeled difficult. In a national climate where institutions already feel unresponsive, unclear local leadership compounds the damage. It creates a space where people feel unheard not because they weren't loud enough, but because no one claimed the authority to listen. And moreover, cowered away from the responsibility to own decisions and the harm they may cause. The people you serve are not obstacles to manage. They are partners in governance, an act of solidarity, if you will. Solidarity means standing with them even when they challenge you. It's recognizing that accountability is not an attack, it's an act of care. That listening is not loss of control, it is shared stewardship. That leadership is not protecting systems, but about protecting people. Healing does not come with an expectation of perfection. There's a quote I want to offer from James Baldwin who said, "Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it's faced." Facing reality fully and honestly is the first step to restoring trust. And trust, once broken, cannot be rebuilt with talking points. It's rebuilt through intentions and action. This is not about blame. It is about solidarity with the people who live with the consequences daily. Accountability is not conflict, it is care. Clear roles are not rigidity, they are reassurances. When leadership is visible and responsibility is owned, communities feel safer to engage, to speak, and trust again. In a divisive national moment, you have the chance to model something better. You can choose to do the hard, uncomfortable things to reassure Topekans that their hometown is a safe and trustworthy democracy that serves all people. Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, we'll move to announcements. City Clerk.
Okay, there is a special meeting budget work session of the governing body that has been called by City Manager Dr. Robert M. Perez on Tuesday, January 27th, 2026. That meeting will take place from 5 to 8 p.m. here in the City Council chambers located at 214 Southeast 8th Street, second floor.
City Manager.
Nothing from me, Mayor. Thanks.
Councilmember Ortiz.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to shout out to all the people that I asked to come and pray, and they were happy to pray, come and pray for our city and our citizens, and I just want to personally thank them all. Sometimes we ask people and they don't want to do that. They don't want to be scrutinized or whatever, so I really, really appreciate them. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Banks.
Nothing tonight, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Councilmember Kell.
Just a reminder, it's going to get cold here in a couple days. Check on your neighbors, check on their elderly, make sure people are getting their pets inside. It's going to get in the negative on some of the lows, so make sure everyone's looking out for everyone and everything around us, please. Thank you.
Councilmember Miller, any announcements?
Nothing, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Bradbury. Oh. Sorry, we lost you for a
Did you
second.
hear me?
There you go.
Yeah, nothing, Mayor. Thank you.
Yep. All right. Councilmember Bradbury.
Yes, I just wanted to say that I had the opportunity to attend the Living the Dream community celebration and dinner, and then also the community worship service. And I just want to thank the organizers for such a powerful and meaningful event honoring Dr. King's vision and legacy.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Hofer.
Nothing tonight.
Councilmember Hiller.
Thank you. I just will follow up on Councilwoman Bradbury's comments. The Martin Luther King events in this community were phenomenal, and they were steady for about 5 days straight. And congratulations and kudos to all the scholarship awardees, those who were recognized, and certainly to everyone who did the work to put those events together. This was very, very strong as usual, and something we can all be proud of. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll echo all those comments. I was able to participate in several of those events, including closing out last night with the Topeka Center for Peace and Justice. So again, this community does a wonderful job of having those events and actually being a leader in some of the things that we do to honor Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy. So thank you to all of the different groups who put those together. I don't know, City Manager, if we have a list of this that we can put somewhere out into the world. I know this year it's been a little different, but I'm starting to get texts because the weather is getting colder. And I think there's fewer warming centers than we've had in previous years for a variety of reasons, but I do know there are a few out there. So if staff could maybe even put that out to the media and ask them to disseminate it for the ones that we do know, and send it to us council members, because I don't know the media, that would be very helpful, I think, for us and the community, because the cold front's coming. And if you are out there and you are aware of a warming center, if you don't know if we know about it, that means we may not. So just email us, whether it's one of us council members or the city manager or the mayor's office, so we can make sure that gets on the list. Because to Councilmember Kell's point, please also check in on your neighbors and your friends and your family, because sometimes people you don't realize need some assistance. So it's definitely going to get very cold. The last thing is you got 1 week only left if you want to sit in the District 8 vacancy over there, if you live in District 8. So go to the website, topeka.org, and make sure it's right there on the front of the page that you fill out the application. We've had 2 applications, I believe, to date. So still a wide open opportunity. A reminder, we take those in the order that people, we will do the public interviews the first week of February, and we will do those interviews in the order that those applications come in. I've had a few people reach out to me wanting to talk to me about that vacancy, and I will tell the world what I've told them. I'm not going to have that meeting, and it's not because I don't wish you well and I want you to participate, but I don't want it to look like I had any early hand or role or anything in the process. I want to treat this like every other council member is going to treat it. So you can certainly ask some very basic questions like time commitment, but anything beyond that, the process needs to play out the way it's supposed to play out, and I want to make sure to honor that from this seat. So I will look forward to your applications. I encourage people to apply, and you got 1 week left, so get that application in. Anything I have forgotten, City Manager, anything you need to add? All right. With that, I believe we have the need for 2 executive sessions this evening, so I will turn it over to the City Attorney to read the first one.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The motion would be to recess into executive session not to exceed 30 minutes to give legal advice and discuss potential litigation and other matters deemed privileged under the attorney-client privilege as allowed under KSA 75-4319B2. The open meeting will resume in this room in the governing body chambers. The following staff will be necessary to assist the governing body in its deliberations: the city attorney, the deputy city manager, and other staff members as needed.
All right. I will move to approve. Do I have a second? All right. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Aye. One opposed. Councilmember Ortiz. All right. With that, let's come back here at 6:45 and we'll go into executive session because I need his restroom. Pardon? Who's the second? Banks. He and Kel were fighting. All right, we've reconvened the meeting and are now back in open session with no action having been taken by the governing body during the executive session. However, we have a need for a second executive session. If the city attorney will please read.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The motion would be to recess into executive session not to exceed 30 minutes to give legal advice and discuss cases currently in litigation or the potential for litigation and other matters deemed privileged under the attorney-client privilege as allowed under KSA 75-4319B2. The open meeting will resume in this room in the governing body chambers. The following staff will be necessary to assist the governing body in its deliberations: the city attorney, the chief of police, and other staff members as needed.
All right, I will move to take us into executive session. Do I have a second? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those in favor say nay. Nay. Councilmember Ortiz says nay. With that, we will move immediately into executive session. We're back in public meeting. No action has been taken at this time. However, we have a need to extend our executive session by another 30 minutes. I'll allow the city attorney to read.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The motion would be to extend the current executive session not to exceed 30 more minutes to give legal advice and discuss cases currently in litigation or the potential for litigation and other matters deemed privileged under the attorney-client privilege as allowed under KSA 75-4319B2. The open meeting will resume in this room in the governing body chambers. The following staff will be necessary to assist the governing body in its deliberations: the city attorney, the chief of police, and other staff members as needed.
I will move to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Deputy Mayor. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, with that, we are back into executive session immediately. All right. We have come out of executive session. No action was taken, and this meeting is adjourned.